This is the finished painting, and I'll start the demonstration in just a minute, but I wanted to tell you this is on an 11 by 14 inch piece of masonite covered with gesso. I did a much larger painting of this a while back, 3 by 4 foot painting on canvas of this same subject, and I enjoyed doing it so much I thought I would do a smaller one for you today. So I'll get started. I usually tone my board with a combination of burnt sienna and maybe some burnt umber. In this case I didn't, but I'm applying the paint here quite thin, and on this masonite board the paint soaks in and dries so very quickly. However, I do tone my board most of the time. In this case I started with the white board and just blocked in the basic colors I knew I would need. And I am using acrylics. Up until this time I used no white at all on the painting. I did start to use it down here on the water because I wanted it more opaque. Having blocked that in with very thin colors, now here I'm starting to use thicker paint. So I'm starting to build it up using more darks, and of course I'm starting to use white at this point. Now paintings at this stage always look very crude, but I wanted to get everything covered and wanted to get my large basic shapes established. Then after I'm satisfied with those large shapes, only then do I feel like I need to begin with some detail. Now most of my attention, in addition to adding detail, is to put in the proper amount of contrast I feel is important in this painting. I like all this contrast. It just helps to bring out certain areas. If a dark area is next to a light area, the attention will be focused more in that area. So this contrast of light against dark will always bring attention to what is generally the center of interest. This is where the painting process really slows down. The first part on blocking in, that happens very quick, but really is the most important part of the painting. But a lot of thought has to be put into details as to where I want them and how much of the detail I want. Usually the areas that have the center of interest have the most detail. Other areas, such as in the corners of the painting, don't make quite as much difference and need less detail. Here I'm putting some tree trunks in, but that first large tree trunk to the left there, after I put that in, it just seemed to throw off the whole dynamic of the painting. It was just standing up too straight or pointing in the wrong direction. So I removed it and slanted it more towards the center of the painting. It's little things like this that take a little bit of thought and make a big difference in the final result of the painting. Since this painting represents the Blue Ridge Mountains or the Smoky Mountains, I'm putting in a small bear here at the top of the waterfall, and it just adds a little bit of interest to the painting. I finished this painting by using a small brush and adding a few accents and highlights. Hope you enjoyed watching. Bye-bye.